the NCDC for this partnership, and also thank the federal government for the common law for the scheme. And I want to assure the federal government, the NCDC, that this partnership with you will going to go to the next level. And also assure the federal government and Nigerians that the core member being patriotic will continue to render selfless service for the development of our country. All we expect is that Nigerians continue to support the core member. Their safety is also paramount to you all. So give them the best. I can assure you, you in turn get the best from the core members. Core members are doing wonderfully well. The strike by the resident doctors, core members in the field, they don't go on strike, they are working. As the DGNC said, they've been partnering with all the agencies to all our hospitals, the next public and private, and also assure the federal government and our schools, NYC cares, the federal government cares, so that all of us must take responsibility and play by the rules and don't do anything for this privilege, and also once again appreciate the DGNCDC for this opportunity. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. DGNYC, you have said covered a lot of areas, vaccination to the other things that they put in place to ensure the safety of core members. Before I proceed to the next item of the agenda, from the panelists, I can see 3 Oyeladun Okuromade. So please, there is need to edit for 2 panelists to edit their names appropriately. I'll be calling on the next speaker. If we want the core members to know the measures that have been put in place to ensure the safety in NYSC camp. There is no other person to do justice to this presentation than the project lead. So I'll be calling on Dr. Oyeladun to please give us an overview of all the measures put in place
to ensure
the safety of core members.
It's all lies.
Dr. Oyeladun, over
Ladies
to
and
you.
gentlemen, my picture is not there yet. Just bear with me. I'm trying to sort it out as we speak. Something is wrong with the system, and I'm going to get that working. But I will be back later on. I'm going to try and sort it out. Something is wrong. Oh?
Dr.
Oh, yes. Yes. Fantastic. Yes. 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 Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just keep. Did you guys hear that? 1 minute. Did you hear that? They were singing Orile de Miaduro. Fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. I'm gonna. This is. I will come and play later.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ogunbode. I would also like to use this opportunity to welcome once again the core members to the 5th edition of the webinar. I would like to appreciate the presence of Director General NYC.
So we're trying to put that
person
there, but anyway.
of Brigadier General.
That was from my end there, but I was hoping
thank you, sir, for all the support.
I'm trying to sort the pictures out, so bear with me.
The NYSC SCDC project, and also to appreciate the presence of all the directors with DG, Director for Mobilization, Director Planning, Research and Statistics, Director Special Duties, and all the directors present today. Today, we're going to touch on important things as regards camp orientation vis-a-vis COVID-19, and this is just to give us a brief overview of COVID-19 situation in the country.
1 second,
because I'm sure some of the core members will be wondering why do we keep having this. This is just to tell us and to show us that COVID is still very much with us. And as at 11th of October, We
now,
have over 200,000
you're watching the frauduria. They're trying to get us to go and take jabs and everything. We can't trust them.
Within the last 24 hours,
I don't want us to trust them. We can't trust the Nigerian government.
Cases
they are a government
different states in the country. Since the inception, we've recorded over 2,700 deaths. This is to show the distribution that the cases are within every state, and we know core members are from different states in the country, and that's to tell us that no state is exempted from the incidence of COVID-19. And this is to show us the curve. Since the outbreak has started,
back. I'm just trying to do this as I'm going on the fly now.
Waves. There's been the first wave early last year. There's been the second wave, which was even far more higher than what we recorded during the first wave. That was during December, January this year. And in the last few months, we've also experienced the third wave. And this is to also encourage us that we should not drop the ball, though we've put measures in place to ensure that we have safe camp orientation, but we need to continue to re-emphasize this and continue to address some of the concerns of the core members. And that is the main reason why we're here today, to go through the guidelines on the camp orientation activities that have been put in place in conjunction with NYSC management and with the support of Presidential Steering Committee, and also to use this avenue to address some of the concerns and questions that the core members will have as relates to COVID-19 measures in camp, and also as relates to COVID-19 vaccines, which I'm sure will be the most topical things that will be most concerned, and also to guide the core members to where they can get appropriate information as relates to COVID-19. And that is the major reason why we're here today. And part of the measures that have been put in place at NCDC, we have worked with NYSC management to ensure that there is a framework for camp resumption for 2021, which we've been following since the beginning of the year. And we are on the third stream for this particular batch, where the plan is to ensure that we batch the core members to resume in batches daily over a period of 5 days. So for the batch that will be resuming next week, we'll be mobilizing about 1,500 core members per each camp. And it's expected that each core members will resume, would have about 300 core members resuming a day over a period of 5 days, which means you'll be given an appointment for resumption, and we want to encourage you to ensure that you resume on the day of your appointment. Arrangement to be made available for only for the day you are being scheduled for resumption. And part of the measure also on the NYSC profile portal, each individual portal, we have worked closely with the surveillance team as well as the e-surveillance team. We called our e-surveillance platform Summers. This is an electronic platform, and this has already been hosted on the NYSC profile page. Once you go on the particular, on your NYSC page, you'll see a button that prompts you to give details of your COVID-19 self-reporting information. So once you click this, and this is very mandatory, and it's important for you to complete this process before you can print your NYSC call-up letters. So once this button pump up, you click on it. The image is shown on the right side of my presentation here. You'll be directed to NCDC platform on the portal. And once you're directed to NCDC platform, you you continue, and a form will come up. This form, you are requested to fill in your appropriate information in terms of your demographic characteristics, your name, your age, your residence, your state of origin, where you are residing currently. There'll be questions around if you've traveled recently and you've been in the country in the last 14 days, and there'll be details about the previous COVID test you've done, and you have some behavioral questions as well in terms of if you have information around how to protect yourself, what do you do when you cough, do you wear mask, and some other information like that, as well as COVID vaccine information. So those are the details that will be required of you
pardon, I'm having to use on the fly.
Once you complete this and you click submit, a code will come up. We call it
we
a
don't
QR
trust
code,
anything that's been said here.
And the COVID-19 testing slip. You're expected
we
to
don't
print
trust
this
anything
and
that's been
come to
said
the
here.
camp with the code and the slip, and this will be presented
the government
on
is
arrival
not providing
in camp.
safety and security.
So by the time
we cannot
you get to
trust
camp,
what they're saying here.
We have NCDC officials
we cannot.
that will be working with the NYSC previous corps members to ensure that the conduct COVID-19 test on arrival in camp. These are part of the mandatory process, and every prospective corps members in camp are expected to go through this test. Once this is conducted, it is a rapid diagnostic test, and the results will be available within 15 minutes. Once this is done, within 15 minutes, you are prompted with your results on your phone, registered phone number. Part of the details that will be collected in this information is your phone number, and your results will be sent to your phone number as SMS. And this is what we presented to the NCDC officials in camp, and the test will be conducted. At this point, it is that result that would entail whether you'll be enrolled as a corps member or not. We shouldn't forget that on arrival at the camp, we are still prospective corps members.
You're watching TV Radio, which is
apart from the tests that will be done on arrival, some of other measures that have been put in place in each camp to ensure that we reduce.
I'm pausing for a second, but I know it's a live broadcast, but I need to say this. The government that fails to provide safety and security, one of the military men was saying that don't travel at night, don't be safe, make sure you stay wherever. Their job is, that's not their job. Their job is to make sure the country is safe for you to travel in, and they should make sure that there's healthcare for you, healthcare services for you. This is all for show. This is all for show. I am sorry to say, this is all for show.
The number of participants in each camp is batching. This is to ensure that we reduce the risk of transmission of infection as much as possible, which I've just explained, and we'll be giving appointments on the days of resumption, and we're encouraged to adhere as much as possible to resumption date. Would also be tested. It's important to state that our test is being conducted free of charge, courtesy of NYSC as well as NCDC collaboration. And there are other infection prevention measures and control that have been put in place on arrival in camp. You're expected to resume in camp with your face mask, your hand sanitizers, running water and soap will be provided at strategic locations in camp to ensure that you wash your hands regularly. There are a lot of educational materials as well that's been distributed to camps. They will be placed in strategic places. Also, there will be screening morning and night at strategic locations in camp. And we also have a state surveillance team that are working with NYSC officials in camp to ensure they conduct active surveillance within the camp as well as part of the clinic in case anybody comes down with certain signs and symptoms. This will be picked early on time. There's also been some rearrangement.
One more thing I will say in the middle of all of this. Wọ́n ṣe gbàgbọ́, wọ́n ṣe gbọ́kànlé, wọn ò lè pèsè ìdáàbòbò fún wa lórí ilẹ̀ tiwa. They cannot provide safety and security for us as citizens. That is the fact. Of course, you're watching Citizen AY on Oduduwa TV Radio on YouTube. Please subscribe and share. Do also go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube as we speak live right now. But what I'm saying to you all, got mo sọ gbogbo yín sìn ni pé gbogbo wa sìn ni pé ẹ wò àwọn àbí wọn pèsè dáàbòbò fún wa, wọ́n ń pa owó èèyàn wa. Gbogbo lè tán ṣe sìn àwòrán lásán ni o. Wọ́n kàn fi ṣe show ni o. Bó ṣe máa pa wá, bó ṣe máa gbalẹ̀ wa, òun náà ń bá bọ̀. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká gbà.
In the hostel. This is to allow spacing in camp, 2 meter spacing, and this will ensure that we adhere to COVID-19 protocols as much as possible in the hostel.
What is the point of COVID-19 protocol when Fulani terrorists are killing us on a daily basis? Wọ́n pa wá lójoojúmọ́, ṣe kọ́kọ́ sí. Ṣe kọ́kọ́ wọ́n ṣe pa wá lójoojúmọ́.
The double bunk, we only have one person stay on the bunk, and the number of bunks has been reduced drastically as much as possible in the rooms. The lectures also will be delivered as much as possible, observing physical distancing in the hall, and we'll be making use of e-learning tools as much as possible, using different virtual learning process. There is also this particular guideline that has been developed would also be shared with all core members on our NYC portal. This is to ensure that we read it, get familiar with it, and we adhere to it. We are being mandated to sign this and present a signature wide in camp. There will also be a process where we'll have infection prevention control guard. They are called IPC Vanguard. That will be part of us in camp to ensure that they remind us of some of these procedures for the period of 3 weeks. All these measures have been put in place for us as prospective core members to ensure our safety, to give our parents, guardian, kind of assurance that we're in good hands, despite the fact that we're going to camps in the midst of pandemic. So it's important to us that as core members, we need to play our own role by ensuring that we are there as much as possible to all the guidelines that has been put in place. We observe physical distancing as much as possible. Wear your mask, even during our normal parade and lectures. We're expected to wear our mask all the time. If we have any questions, we have our platoon officials working with us where we can seek clarifications and get correct and adequate information. Avoid misinformations as much as possible. Avoid rumors. Avoid sending out some misinformation across social media.
Can they provide safety and security first?
To ensure that
can they provide safety and security?
We need to ensure we get adequate information and also work with all the camp officials to ensure that the process is seamless and we have a successful orientation exercise. We have been enjoined to familiarize ourselves with the guidelines, observe all the safety protocols, and comply with protocols for safety of ourselves individually and for safety of all the core members in camp and the camp officials. We all have a role to play to ensure our safety. And if we must bring this pandemic to an end, we all have a role to play and ensure that we take responsibilities as much as possible. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions, and we have officials on the call that will be responding to all the questions that may arise from some of these presentations.
I just want us to be very cautious. We have to be very cautious with what is being said here. We can't take their word for
Thank you, Dr. Oyelado, for your presentation. Let me say again that we are not going to entertain questions from participants. So if you have comments, concerns, please put them in the chat box or Q&A box. And we're already collating comments and questions for the panel discussion. We are going to move now to the last presentation before we start the panel discussion. I'll be calling on the head of communication NCDC so that he can give us his presentation on how core members can actually champions be used as champions for health security. So I'll be Dr. Disu, over to you.
Good morning once again. DG Nysc and all protocols duly observed. Mine is to just guide us and to further elaborate on what the DGs have said earlier with regards to our role in this. The DG NCDC talked about health security, not just COVID-19. It's a whole of package, whatever we're doing. And then the NYSC is leading in this regard to be aware the role of core members. We need to know what they're doing so we can counter it ourselves. Just to share some tips with us, if you are not, how we need to survive this, whatever they're doing, we need to survive. You have to be careful. Can we trust orientation camp settings? Can we trust? We know that of course, the camp is very strict and they put regulations in place to protect us and protect the staff and protect the community. But once we leave the camp, we take responsibility because the NYSC does not have total control of what happens in the community.
There's no
you are the one there in the field, and it's your responsibility to protect yourself and also to ensure that you protect others. We understand the concept of take responsibility and how this applies to what we do, and then what we have been doing with regards to COVID-19. Why do we need to take responsibility? Definitely, we remember in life, we grow from birth as babies, and then we pass through childhood, and then we become adults, and then we become responsible for families at work. So this means responsibility keeps increasing. And even if you don't want to take responsibility, nature has a way of imposing responsibility on you. How well you do that depends on how well you prepare yourself and the level of understanding you have regards to what responsibility you need to take. So in other words, as an adult, who will be responsible for taking care of ourselves, our families, even our communities. DJ NYSC, I'm sure, was once in our shoes as youth like this, and then maybe he aspired to be DG and to be somewhat responsible one day. He may not know specifically where exactly he's going to serve. So one of you tomorrow may be in these positions. So we need to internally take ownership of our circumstances. There is a saying that says 10%, what happens to you is determined externally by 10%, but internally by 90%. So most time it is due to your reaction. So even consequences of our actions, we need to own our consequences. If we know and anticipate that this is our responsibility, then most likely we're going to be on the right track. So, and taking responsibility is not just limited to when you are planning, even when something goes wrong. The earlier you quickly look at it and you accept the responsibility, the more you can learn from it.
I'm not going to watch all of this. These are all stories. I just wanted to just get an idea. We're probably going to,
this point,
I don't know.
Like in dreams begin responsibility. So that means when you're looking ahead, responsibility is not something you just wake up and
safety for you as an NYSC person. They are only interested in protecting food and needs.
And even it's also
your life is in
back
danger.
To reflect
that's the fact.
And then where you have made mistake, and then they take ownership of those actions. So we also need to understand that we need to choose how we respond to life issues. And that means we need to choose our battle. we need to be consciously in charge of what we do. Most times we rely on what others say or what how others judge us, but it begins with ourselves. So in order to change others, we have to change ourselves first. And then that determines how we respond to life issues. So one important thing is every journey in life, we go through a vehicle and somebody is always driving, right? So it's better you be in the driver's seat of your life journey. It is only when you find your voice that you'll be able to help others too to also find their voice. So I think I just want to join us to ensure that we take leadership of whatever situation we find ourselves. We will be there in the community where we are not supervised, but others are looking up to us. And then the students, most of us will serve in schools, even teachers in most of those villages where we'll be working, and some of them look up to us. So it's up to us how we do. Do we want to be blaming? I want to be complaining? No. So it's better that we replace blaming and complaining with the heart of intention.
Now is
and then so that we can move from the position of victim to a position of victor in life. Every setback is an opportunity for us to reflect and to learn from the situation. So most times it's good that we ask questions. What is my role in this? And how do I use this? Use my talent in this, and what is the gain here for me? And then what can I learn from this? Like I always tell core members that I have a counter with, like they should have a game plan anywhere they find themselves. They have a very short period to exercise their talents and then to also learn. It's just 1 year. Plus how they use it can determine a lot later in life. One of us here, I would even mention his name, Gordon. Dr. Gordon was a core member in NCDC, and then when he was serving, he was so dedicated, he was ready to learn. And then before you know, organizations started giving him responsibility outside NCDC, leading teams to states. They would not even know he was a core member. So it's up to us. And today, he is absorbed in NCDC and he's taking responsibility for many activities. And one of them is this core orientation camp for core members. So I want us to borrow leaf from that. So taking responsibility, what does it mean? Yes, so what? It depends on you. And you want to take responsibility so that we can also add value to life and to value of people, vision of people around us. And we need to use information to improve situations around us. And that is like productivity. And the least we can expect is to be compliant, right? And just to say, okay, this is what they say I should do, let me do it. This is what they say we should do. But we need to move further beyond that. And then we are leaders, we are graduates, and we have passed through the 4 walls of the higher institutions. And this is a time for us to reflect and to use those lessons we have learned to see how we can better our community. So the most important thing is we need to learn how to take initiatives. Where nobody has any clue, then we challenge ourselves. And then we don't just say it's based on the only instruction that I'm given. Now, with regards to COVID-19 response, I'm sure all of us are familiar with the hashtag Take Responsibility, which was launched March 2022, 2020. And the essence is to task Nigerians to take responsibility for how to prevent and control
because they're sending information to our people that it can be
as families and then maybe as a member or part of an organization or community. So it's at various levels. And then you find out that you don't exist in vacuum as a human being. We are all part of one system or the other and one community or the other. So we need to find our space in this. So the model, the framework for implementing that take responsibility, we have 5 M's. First one is the model. As an individual, you practice and demonstrate those preventive measures. And then you need to also map the resources around you, stakeholders you can work with. Together, we all achieve more. So it's better that we identify those people who can help us achieve this dream, wherever we find ourselves, to work together. And then until we begin to gain momentum. Then mobilize means that we need to share these key messages.
All of the information that they're doing here is
various channels
they're killing us.
We are
While they're talking about
to,
this, their
and
plan is to
various approaches, and then
kill.
Our creativity in them leveraging opportunities around us. Then also mitigation means we need to ensure that the information we share, people are able to use it appropriately. And also other information that we need to know not correct, misinformation. And in a way, we try and address such problems in such a way that the correct information that people have, they can use it to really make impact in the spread and control of the disease. With regards to monitoring, we can also work to provide feedback to the networks that we work with. We get to the local government and where we are posted. There are government officials who are working in community, the local government health educators, and then also the
all of this is all talk. They are not dealing with the killings that's going on. They're not dealing with the Fulani terrorists in our forest. And they're telling you to continue with this. Whilst you are focused on this, they are taking our lives. We need to be aware of this.
We should help decision makers and people are responding in shaping their strategies.
See, they're using the picture of Toby,
the topic is champion for health security. So I was talking about take responsibility. But when it comes to being a champion, of course, we know there are elements or features of a champion. We can see this is a Nigeria that we're all proud of. But then there is something that you will share that we all can connect with. And that is enthusiasm for whatever goal we want to achieve in life. And we say he loves it, and then that is what we use for. And that is elements of a champion. And just like Go TV, when you see it, they say somebody just say live it, love it. And that is where we should embrace activities that we're involved in. And with regards to COVID-19 and other activities, a champion must always feel passions, as in, of course, they have passion for whatever they are doing. That is what drives their motivation. So, and then for health security means we need to champion this take responsibility starting from COVID-19 and also support verification of information. Dr. Ladun mentioned it earlier that we should not support spread of misinformation.
Misinformation, and you guys are the ones providing misinformation. You cannot speak truth to power.
It's something that can easily harm our psychology. Sometimes we don't even know that we've already been affected. So that's why we need to verify every information, go to reliable sources, like the NCDC website and the WHO website, or even
50 million Nigerians have got mental issues.
Officials that are credible around us, and before you spread this to others. So now the question I will ask us is, are we ready to
mental issues, mental health issues?
By the time you finish your youth service, and do you just want to get your certificate and get out? Or yes, you want to be in that vehicle, that movement that will drive change, but you are not in the driver's seat. That's good, but that may not be good enough. But the most important thing is, you want to be in the driver's seat and you have your certificate, you are proud of it. Be able to say this is a contribution, this is how you have shaped the system, how you have contributed to the progress.
There's no system.
Thank you very much. And
no system.
So I will really also appreciate questions and the chat box that they can answer. Thank you, and over.
You see?
Thank you, Dr. Disu.
Dr. Disu.
Let me say I'm really happy with the full of questions.
You see, all of this is all
we may not be able to entertain all the questions
already
in the webinar, but be assured, so this is the prospective members, all questions will be addressed and it will be put in the platform. So questions that we're unable to take, be assured that we'll address them.
Let's be very, very mindful of this. We have to be very careful.
So let me once again introduce our panelists. We have 3 panelists.
You see?
First one is the big boss, the guy at the top for NYSC, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim.
You see, Brigadier General. What's it doing to do with Nigerian Youth Service Corps?
Who will be joining us on a panel discussion. And last but not the least, we have a serving corps member who has passed through this system and is currently serving. Cordelia, she too will be joining us for the panel discussion. So I'll start with the DG NYSC with first round of questions, sir. So I'll read out like 3-4 questions, sir. Then I'll give you time to address them appropriately.
Whatever
the first one, so the corps members,
they
are asking for the date of NYSC orientation.
Each and every Southerner, you have to be aware that these guys, everything they're saying, be very, very aware and be alert. They are not providing safety and security for you or your family. If you're a Southerner, they're not. They are exposing you to danger. The government keeps pardoning Fulani terrorists. They keep pardoning them. They give them guns to go back out and kill Southerners. That's the fact. Wake up and realize that, please.
Date for the NYSC orientation. Some corps members who would like to know if vaccinated members will be tested in camp. I think that will go to Dr. Lado. So don't worry about that, sir. So first one is the date for NYSC orientation. They want to know when they will get their call-up letter, when it will be out.
You see?
As a lot of them also have issues with change of name and when it will be effected on the NYSC portal.
Well, why don't you
take these 3 questions?
Okay, we have one more question. Unfortunately, they won't answer us because they won't be listening to us. The question is, how can you provide, what safety are you providing for students, for NYSC students? What safety are you providing across the whole South for students? What safety? But they will never ask that question. Let's watch on.
Then I'll come back again. Another round of questions. Over to you, sir.
You see?
Okay. Thank you very much. I had earlier mentioned the date. I said the orientation is 20th of October. Within the next 48 hours, they are going to get the call-up letters immediately. The call-up letters will be released. And then the rest is, I think Dr. Eladu answered that. When they report to camp, those already are already vaccinated, whether they are still going to be tested again. Because as far as we are concerned, by our policy, anybody that be coming to camp must be tested. It's not just prospective camp members, including all camp officials, marine market officials, everybody in camp will be tested. And once you're in camp, if you go out and return, you also again will be tested for the second time. So you get a call-up letter by latest Sunday.
Who the hell is this?
Okay, thank you very much.
Who the hell is this?
So thank you, sir. If I bothered about that Tuesday next week is a public holiday, corps members from the East, they are also concerned about that Wednesday next week is NSAS Memorial, and that Thursday is the IPOB Court Day, and they're going to be sit at home. So can you please help us clarify?
Somebody's putting stuff in my phone. Yes, I've changed the password. I've changed everything. They're tagging me.
So, security arrangement we do is not something we'll discuss in the air. So we're going to take a look at it and decision will be taken. And all I wanted to know is just monitor the NYSC platform for any directive. So don't follow us on the platform. Don't listen to what you read, take what you read on the social media and so on. Follow instructions, we will reach out to you. Because security is not something we have to let people know ahead of us. So monitor activities on our platform will be communicated accordingly.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry about this.
So, the next
I do apologize. I was just trying to take something is just going ahead. I'm trying to fix it. Sorry.
Will vaccinated members be tested in camp? That was going to Dr. Ladu. Also,
there was a post that I'm just
seeing.
I'm trying to understand it. So
how many shots
we don't authorize anybody to post anything on the platform, but we're going to deal with that soon. Thank you.
Also, regarding vaccination, is how are we addressing the rumors going around with the COVID-19 vaccine that it is dangerous? So, Dr. Lado, please, can you address all these comments and concerns?
I know that the core members have a lot of concern and a lot of misinformation going around as regards vaccination. So as it is now, for those that have been vaccinated fully, we have not changed the protocol. Every prospective core members will still be tested in camp. So they should all come prepared that and bring their COVID-19 testing slip to camp for testing. Within the NYSC management, NCDC management, as well as the Presidential Steering Committee, would sit down to review the guideline for subsequent ones. But as it is for this particular batch, we have not changed the guideline and the protocol. So whether you are vaccinated or not, you are still mandated to take the compulsory COVID-19 test in camp. I've seen some questions like, can I come with my COVID-19 test, please? That is not, it will not be acceptable. You're still going to be tested while in camp before you are allowed to register. As regards whether the vaccination will be made compulsory to all core members, we're still part of the Nigeria public service system and agency and orientation. So whatever is bounding on the public service rules within the country would also bound on the NYSC process. And the Presidential Steering Committee chairman has announced that from 1st of December,
we cannot trust anything they're saying. We cannot trust anything they're saying.
Vaccination cards.
I am probably going to round this up now.
And I want to believe that the same will be applied to
trust them anyway.
NYSC core members, but I would also allow the DG NYSC to shed more light onto that as regards the compulsory vaccination process. But as it is for testing, whether you are vaccinated or not, you are still going to be tested in camp. So I would defer the question of compulsory vaccination to our DG NYSC, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dr. In my earlier comment, yes. In my earlier comment, that I think during my welcome remarks, I made this, I referenced this, where I said, with the directive from the Presidential Steering Committee, our core members are also workers. They are frontline workers as well. So it also is binding on us. So all the core members were December 1st as directed by the Presidential Steering Committee to ensure that they get themselves vaccinated. I will advise they do the process now because it is free. They do in camp and even after camp. So why do you have to wait? If you start waiting towards the next 2 weeks, Nigerians will start rushing. So it's better, it's made available for free in the orientation camp. I will advise you take it now to avoid the rush hour. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So still on vaccination, this is for NCDC, Dr. Yeladu. What vaccine brands are available in camps? Some core members would like to know that. Also,
first, we want to say thank you to the Nigerian
core members meant to be vaccinated. Also, there is this one: a breastfeeding mother, can I take the vaccine? So that is a worry from a core member that is a nursing mother. Over, Dr. Lado.
Okay. Thank you for that, and also I omitted the question the last one that I responded to. There is a question on is vaccination happening in camp, and it's also related to the question around the vaccine brand. Is the same brand available in the country?
Circulating online. It's a video showing supporters of the candidate of the Young Progressive Party, Ifeanyi Uba, chanting and following campaign vehicles in a busy market in Lagos State. Now, this is ahead of the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State.
Currently, we have Moderna, and we also have these two brands that are currently available will be made available to core members as well in camp during the orientation. And as regards a lot of information going around as regards COVID-19 vaccine, I want to assure everyone that it's just like COVID-19. When COVID-19 started, there are a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation, a lot of rumors about COVID-19, that it's not true, it's 5G, this and that, and it's the same misinformation and propaganda that is ongoing as regards COVID-19 vaccine as well.
So we need
to
move on.
I want to take us down the history lane.
The thing is that we have to be
some
vigilant.
of us that
we cannot trust anything that's been said here.
For those that were around
they're not looking for our safety and security as Southerners.
Pandemic, and for those that met the history, the singular weapon that the world used to win the war against smallpox that time was vaccine. Just one weapon that was used, and if you will go back the memory lane, as far back as 1977, there was nothing like all this social media, nothing like mobile phones and all this misinformation and all that. But if we could win the war of smallpox that time and eradicate smallpox due to availability of vaccine,
we don't know who's in charge.
Were willing and available to take the vaccine.
They're not attending to
we can actually achieve the same with COVID-19 vaccine this period. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of misinformation going around, and I want to encourage
the one responsible. The Fulani government are the one responsible for the misinformation. They are pardoning. The Fulani government are pardoning Fulani terrorists, and they are telling us, oh, they've reformed, only for the Fulani terrorists to be given guns by the same government to go and kill Southerners. That is why we are raising awareness. That's why we are intervening as we are doing now. Please share this broadcast. I know people wouldn't understand what we're saying here. The information they're giving here, under normal circumstances, if there was safety and security and there was healthcare, we could believe it. But we can't trust anything that's been said here.
Members, prospective core members, that we've been given a lecture on how to be an agent of change. We can be a champion, an agent of change, using our own information and our own medium available to us.
Which change? Which change?
Also be part.
Can you hear the lies by these people? Agent of what change? Lies.
Of the process.
Allocated day in camp.
You see?
Over to you, sir.
You see?
Thank you very much. In our, go through our platforms, all the requirements for you to have a seamless orientation exercise is there. You are supposed to come with your face mask.
You still haven't answered. There is no safety and security. You still haven't answered the question. DG Ibrahim. Again, why is it the Fulani man that is? Look, we need to say, the Fulani must go back to Futajalon. This is nonsense.
Come with your face and come with as many as possible. It's just as the Dr. Disu said, all of us should take responsibility. Your safety first and also safety of others. You come with as many face masks as possible. And I also want to assure our core members, prospective and core members, we are not mobilizing you to fight, to fight bandits or Boko Haram.
Oh, you see?
Our security agencies are doing a wonderful job. And
you see?
I can assure you, when it comes to security of your security, the security agencies, the Nigerian Army, and the DSS and others, they are up the game. They are so concerned for your welfare. And they are their children. And they don't joke with the security of members. All that we say is that don't take responsibility by ensuring that you play by the rules. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't endanger your security. Don't travel at night.
You see?
Whatever you are going to do, ensure you take permission. If you apply for you to travel and it's not given, please don't move anywhere. And wherever you are, ensure that your colleagues they know where you are and tell them how long you'll be there. If you are not going to return within the stipulated time, please reach back so that at any point in time we can account for you.
You see?
So please don't follow this strictly. That's why we're not going to mobilize you to go to war to fight any bandits. The military and the securities are up to the task.
You are putting them in a place where the bandits can kill them. That's what you're not telling them.
Thank you, sir. You've appropriately answered and addressed all the concerns raised by the core members.
I know.
Cordeli, over to you
It's
again.
live. It is live. They are live right now. They are live. This is a live broadcast.
And I was excited.
It says here, protecting the health
now,
of
with all these safety
Nigerian
protocols put in place, some core members are worried. You know,
this is live right now.
Market,
you can watch it live.
Early,
I saw it live. I came upon it and I thought we should share
camp still fun?
That's why.
They are worried and they are scared that going to camp, will they ever have the fun that people had before the era of COVID-19? So can you share your experience, please, with us? Thank you.
Absolutely. So, despite all these measurements, measurements in place, every activity is still ongoing. So you're not missing out from Mami Market. You have access to Mami Market.
I'm sorry.
You're not missing out from manual
you should wake up.
Everything is done platoon by platoon to ensure that
you should not be supporting this. You see, what they're doing, they're using southerners to suck us in into this killing.
We're already used to wearing face masks now, so
they're using us against
not
ourselves.
something new to us.
Can you
I always say maybe carry an extra spare in your pocket so that you don't have to rush back into the hostel for your face mask. But it's still pretty fun. I just came out in August and I participated in all the activities available. So not to worry, it's still as fun as you care.
There's no safety and security.
Please
tell your Yoruba brothers and Igbo brothers and sisters, middle belt, to be vigilant. The government will not care for your life. As long as you're not full and they don't care.
Check the platform.
As long as you're not full and they don't care.
As long as you're
not full and they don't care.
Round up very soon. Before I call on the DG Nysc for his closing remarks, I'll call on Dr. Yelado, the project lead, to say one or two things. Maybe the key take-home message from this webinar. Dr. Lado, over to you, please.
I will play it over again. We're going to play the webinar again, but
thank you very much.
We need to challenge everything that's going on right now.
Ogunbode.
We need to be challenging them at every point.
We've all heard from the core member that just finished
the government of Nigeria promotes hate speech
orientation exercise, and he has assured us that despite all these measures,
they are promoting hate speech.
We also ensure that we put these measures in place to ensure your safety, to give your guardian, your parents confidence and build the trust on the Nysc program. But at the same time, there is enough opportunity to still have fun and ensure that the camp is interesting as much as possible. There was a question around if a breastfeeding woman can take the vaccine. Globally, vaccination can be offered to breastfeeding women if they're part of the strategy. But Nigeria has not prioritized breastfeeding women in the particular strategy that we're exercising currently because there is no data. We don't have enough data to back the information of giving vaccine to breastfeeding women. There's some study ongoing concerning that, and we'll keep updating the information with more available data. And as we go to camp from next week, we've heard from our DG Nysc that as much as possible, measures have been put in place to ensure our safety, irrespective of whether there is no movement or there is some restrictions in some parts of the state, and this will be communicated to all the core members during mobilization. We should not forget one important thing, that this particular virus that we're talking about now, COVID-19 virus, takes opportunity to thrive when people gather. And one of such gathering moments is orientation service, when people are in the same cluster for a period of 3 weeks. And the only way we can ensure that we don't continue to contribute to the burden of infection in the country is to ensure that we adhere to all the guidelines and protocols that have been put in place, all the IPC measures that have been put in place as much as possible. And if we have any concern or we have any questions at all, we should direct this to our officials that are working with us in camp. They will guide us through the process, and we can get adequate information on all the social media platform, official social media platform, official NYC, for Facebook, official NYC, for Instagram, and also for NCDC, all the correct information as regards COVID-19 test and others can be found at NCDC Gov on Facebook and on Instagram as well, and ncdc.gov.ng website. So on this note, I want to wish everyone a wonderful time in camp, and I wish you a safe trip to camp next week. Thank you. Over.
Thank you, Dr. Oyeladu. Colleagues, remember at the beginning of this webinar, I mentioned the webinar survey, which is a new thing that we are doing to try to assess the knowledge and perception on COVID-19. So the post-webinar poll is out. Please kindly fill. I'll be calling on the last item on the agenda is the closing remark from the Director General, NYSC. Sir, over to you for the closing remarks, sir.
Closing remark for what?
I want to thank you for this webinar meeting, and I'm sure the prospective comment they've had, and they have also listened, and I'm sure they will adhere strictly to what you have said here. It is indeed a privilege with the technology has given us the opportunity, because we don't normally hold meetings with the prospective comment before we open accounts. But COVID-19 and also with our partnership with the NCDC has given you all this opportunity. So please, I want to advise that you adhere strictly to what we have discussed here. And please, I want to reiterate again, under no circumstance, you put yourself in harm's way. Don't travel at night. Once you travel, if you are going a longer distance, once it's 6 o'clock, please cut short your journey and pass the night. We have our offices, we have colleges, corps members, and all the nook and crannies of this country. Just ask for corps members where they are. Ask for the military barracks, and so on. They will be willing to accommodate you. We have our numbers.
Really?
We'll be there.
The barracks where the Fulani terrorists are going in every Friday.
Any difficulty, please reach out to us. Don't board vehicles along the way. Go to designated official park for you to board vehicles. And also ensure we have all your details. Don't go looking for cheap transport. You go and wait by the wayside, and you don't know who are the real owners of those vehicles. Please don't endanger your safety. Don't put yourself in harm's way. We love you. Your parents have invested so much in you, and they want a return on their investment.
And you guys want to take our land.
Under those circumstances,
it.
You put them in a very difficult situation, including the NYC, because we love you. The federal government loves you,
and this other
just as your parents.
I don't even know what
so
to say.
adhere strictly to what we have said. That is going to be fun in the camp. It's there. And adhere strictly to the allocated date given to you. Somebody asked that if you don't come with us to grade, what happens? If you don't come with this stipulated dates, and if you don't report to camp, at least because there are people waiting because of the COVID-19, we cannot admit as many people into the camp. So that is why we are programmed accordingly. If you refuse to come this time around, then you have to wait for another two streams.
Yes.
So ensure that you work out your timing, work out your plans, communicate effectively with the NYC, your parents, and everyone, so that you have a safe and a seamless orientation exercise. So on this note, I want to thank you, and I wish you all journey messages to your various camps. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Director General, NYSC. We've come to the end of the webinar. I will urge prospective members to please fill the post-webinar poll. It is very important. It will help us improve on what we are doing. Once again, on the final note, let me thank NYSC for making this happen. My colleagues in NCDC, thank you. Partners, WHO, thank you. And other stakeholders, we say a big thank you. And we wish our prospective members safe trip to your various camps. Thank you, and over.
See, this is live now. I'm going to add mine when they finish. When I will add, just wait. When they finish it, it looks like they're ending now. If they are, I am saying to you, please tell every youth, Nigerian Youth Service Corps member that have had this information to be very, very vigilant, be very, very aware. We don't know. They are telling you to go and get the vaccines. We don't know.
Please, can we have the national anthem?
You see, no. I'm not listening to any. I'm not listening to the national anthem. No, use code 339312. We're not using any. No, we're not listening to any national anthem. We're not.
Can we have the national anthem?
We are not. I am not playing national anthem on here. The national anthem I will play. In fact, I will play it. Let us play the one we will play. We're not gonna. This is the one we want us to play. We're not gonna play their nonsense. Here we go. So here we go. Yeah, here we go. This is what we will sing. We're not gonna listen to their one. That's it. Going to be doing their nonsense. You can see that we're not doing that nonsense. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to be singing their nonsense. So please do not believe anything about Nigeria. It's a fraud. It's a fake. It's a lie. I am not going to play any more than that. I wanted to make sure we had the chance to listen to and counter at every possible opportunity. Counter everything they're saying, because what they're saying to us are lies. The Fulani terrorists are being given guns. They are going into our homes and taking guns away from us as Southerners in our own land. That is what is happening. And we need to be very, very clear and absolutely clear in our mind that these guys, their plan is to exterminate us in any way they can. They will exterminate in any way, shape, or form they can. So I'm going to make this smaller because I'm not interested in this anymore. So one thing I want to say to you all, please, is to also remember we have Oloye Sunday Igboho here, and he needs help. So yeah, so Esheun. So I'm gonna confess some Gbogbo, and I know this was a broadcast that he came and we had to go in straight away. So I don't trust anything that they're saying. I don't trust a jot, nor one iota of what they're saying. Do not trust it. Do not rely on it. Please be safe. If you're a Southerner, please be safe. Be safe. Even their injections, they may put something in those injections. I don't know. Because if you're a Southerner, they are keeping your record and information. They can inject. We don't know what they can inject in you there. We don't know. But all I am saying is be aware, be alert, and also know that for as long as the Fulanis are being given guns to kill Southerners, your life is in danger. Your life is in danger. Everything you're doing. So, so this is the end of the broadcast. We'll be stopping here. I'll be back later on. Thank you and goodbye.